let's get it going. Good morning or afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our webinar today on SugarCRM configuration training. I'm Jesse Heller, the marketing manager at ABSG, and I have Joshua Estes, our regional sales manager, along with me as well.
Hello.
We are going to get it going. Again, today we're talking about SugarCRM configuration training, and some people that are here attending today are new, being introduced to us to ABSG. So I'm quickly just going to introduce you to our company and talk a little bit about Sugar, and then we'll quickly get into Joshua and the webinar on today's topic. So very quick about ABSG, we have 25 years of experience. We are a Sugar Platinum partner now, and we're known for being a leading provider of Sugar integrations, including accounting and ERP software like Sage, Intact, QuickBooks, Constant Contact, and Authorize.net. All of our programming team were in California, a couple scattered throughout the United States, but mainly we're here in California and exclusively in the United States. So our support team is also dedicated in-house. We've done hundreds of successful software implementations, accounting and ERP and CRM software. So we know a thing or two. SugarCRM, most of you know, it's the fastest growing CRM company in the world. They were founded in 2004. The SugarCRM application has been downloaded more than 12 million times, and over 1.2 million end users are using the program. It's an international company, and there's 80,000 organizations throughout the world that have chosen SugarCRM. These are some of their big customers, and there's some pretty big names here, and most of us are small to mid-sized businesses, so there's a fair representation of us as well. Late last summer, Sugar received $40 million in equity investment from Goldman Sachs, so there is a lot of buzz about Sugar. What's great, what we love about it is it's an open source program. You have a lot of flexibility in customizing the program, and you can host it on the cloud or over Amazon or any third party. It's wherever you want. It's your choice to host it pretty much. And the pricing is fantastic. It's very cost effective, and you get a lot of value for innovation that you get. So now I'm going to pass it over to Joshua, who I'm going to give you the reins here, and we can start our presentation on SugarCRM configuration training.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Jesse. I do appreciate it. Hello, everybody. My name is Joshua Estes, and I am the regional sales manager here at ABSG. Our goal for today is to go through the SugarCRM system functioning as an administrator. The purpose is, while you're utilizing the free evaluation of Sugar, that you can really kind of take some more control of this free asset and be able to configure the system so that you can be somewhat functional for your business, or completely functional for your business, depending on how much time you want to spend in it while you have this free period. So today what we're going to go over is just kind of a little bit about customizing our dashboard, a little bit about the social aspect of SugarCRM, and then we're going to get into our admin toolkit. We'll touch on adding users, setting up security settings and roles, customizing fields within the system, and kind of what to think about when we're customizing these fields, how to add or load modules that you might have found in Sugar Exchange, and as well as relationships and fields within modules. If you have any questions, please make sure to write them down as they come to mind so you don't forget them, and then at the end we will make sure we have plenty of time to go over any of the questions that you have. Can everyone see my screen? Jesse, can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it, Joshua.
Okay, brilliant. So let's begin. We've logged into our CRM system, and for the purpose of today, we want to make sure we are logged in as an administrator. How do I know if I'm logged in as an administrator? I'll go over here to the top right, I'll hover over my name, I'll click on the arrow, and I'll see admin. And if I click on that, it will take me to the beautiful inner workings of the admin panel within Sugar. And you get something that looks like this. Now we're going to go back to this. So let's click back on our Sugar Cube, and we're into our dashboard. Dashboard configuration. So a lot of times we're setting up our CRM dashboards for individual users or for individual groups and arms within our organization. I may set up a dashboard and customize it specifically for marketing. I might build one specifically for sales and then be able to utilize that for them within their account. How can we change our dashboards? So let's go here. I can move a little GoToMeeting thing out of the way. Let's click on the arrow here, Actions, and Edit. So now I can edit my dashboard. Right up here at the top right next to where we click Edit, I can make it a one-column dashboard. I can make it a two-column dashboard. Or I can make it a three-column dashboard. Three. Kind of feel like they count. So now we're going back to the two-column layout. That's what I prefer. And I'm going to add a row in a dash list. I'm going to click Add Row. I'm going to add a dash list. In this case, I want to go ahead and add a sales forecast. So I'm going to read here some of the dash lists that I have available or planned activities, activities tasks, forecast, top 10 sales revenue items, forecast, history, list view, saved reports, charts, dash lists, and reports that we built and saved, organizational charts, inactive tasks, Twitter, most active tasks, web page, or forecast pipeline chart. For the sake of this, I am just going to add in a forecast as part of a chart. So I'm going to select and edit. So now I'm going to click Save. And here I've added in a forecast chart in forecast, the sales stage. And we would have that forecast in there. We could update it. We could add more as well. That's the basic dashboard configuration. And you want to think about the users and groups and what they might want to see when you're configuring their dashboard. So let's go in here and let's look at and kind of talk about the activity stream within Sugar and how we can utilize this. And as an administrator, how I might want to talk to my team about it while we're utilizing our free trial. The purpose of this activity stream is I can see, well, activity about anything within my system that I am either associated with or am following. What does it mean by associated? It means it's something that maybe is assigned to me or assigned to my team within my security parameters, which we'll get into in a little bit. But if my security parameters allow me to follow something that is maybe not my account, I can go to that account, and then I can click on the follow icon at the top of an account. Select here. I can go to the account, and here we have JJ Resources, click Actions, and Follow. Now, when anything is updated about JJ Resources, so if one of my salespeople updates something about it, if a new activity is set up for it or an activity is past due, that information will show up here on my activity stream. I can then even make comments on it with my team. Hello. And they can reply back, and I'll get that notification that a comment has been made. I can click on the I right next to it, and I can get all of the information about that specific item. We have AC for account, CS for case, ME for meetings, CL for calls, CA for campaigns, etc. within the system, OP for opportunities. But that's just the basic gist and kind of a quick one-over of the activity stream. So let's get into some of the meat and potatoes of today's call. Now let's go to our admin toolkit. And let's talk about what we see here within our admin toolkit. At the very top, I have our user area. This is where I can set up and add new users. I can create teams. I can set up roles, and I can manage user passwords. This is where we would go in our trial to be able to add other users to our existing system. So this way they can take part in one centralized trial, just as you would when you go live. And the great thing about the evaluation is once you've utilized it, and if you've made some customizations to it that you're proud of and that you really like, you can actually then go live with the evaluation. Sugar Connect is where I can go in and I can update my system. I can file support tickets, and I can view online documentation. Under Systems, where I can get all of my configuration settings, my backup, my mobile settings, my WebLogic hooks, my currency settings, and I can even go to my import wizard to import CSVs and other files. Under Email, I can configure all of my email, inbound, outbound, campaign settings, etc. Developer tools, this is where we're going to spend a lot of our time today, is within our Sugar Studio. This allows us to customize our modules, our fields, our layout, our relationship. What's a module, you might ask? Great question. Modules, if you look up here at the top, are the various entities, the areas within inside of Sugar. Accounts, contacts, opportunities, reports, calls, emails, leads, etc. All those different pieces of Sugar are our modules. Under Module Builder is where I can build a whole new module, a whole new area within Sugar. You can start from scratch, or you can build one templated off of some of the other modules. I can load modules that maybe I've downloaded off of any of the Sugar web app areas, like Sugar Exchange within the system. I can go to my Sugar portal and manage my portal if I'm using Enterprise or above. I have my drop-down editor. I can rename my modules. I can change the style of the system, and I can build workflows. Now, workflows are the automatic conditions and alerts and actions that take place within the system, such as if every time an opportunity is closed one, I want to automatically send an email to my billing department to let them know that this opportunity is closed one and they should be looking for payment within our payment portal soon. Under Products and Quotes, you guessed it, this is where we deal with products, our product catalog, putting them inside of Sugar so that when we're quoting out, we can manage that. We have our bug tracker, tracking bugs and releases in the system. We can go and configure our forecast module, setting up various scenarios, setting up quotas, ranges, time periods. So if we want our forecasts to be monthly, quarterly, weekly, etc., you can go here. And then we can set up our contracts and contract types. So let's go back up here to the top. And let's get started with our users and user management. And I'm actually going to click through and go through each and every one of these with you. So user management. This is where I can view all of my existing users within the CRM system and their email accounts. We can see their titles. I can see their departments, their emails. We can just set up phone numbers and create a catalog of everybody this way that we can share throughout our organization. But let's actually go in and let's create a new user. So I'm going to go to Users. I'm going to click on the drop-down arrow, and I'm going to click Create New User. This is what you'll do to invite new users to your system. Username in this case, we're going to go with Michael Smith. That's the first name. There, go ahead. Michael. And last name is Smith. So his username is just Michael. He's the only Michael at our organization. We can change that if we wanted to. His user type, is he a regular user or an administrator? We're going to make him a regular user. His status, he is active. We want him to have access. We can load a cool little picture of Michael for his avatar so you can see that in the top right up here. We can fill out his employee information, and we set up his email. So this will automatically send an email to Michael letting him know that he now has access to Sugar. He can go in and log in with his password, which we'll set up in just a second. In this case, we'll say, this is msmith@sugar.com. It's the Sugar email client for him. If we wanted to change that, it's an external email client. Now we want to go to our password, and we want to create a password for Michael. So here's the rules that we have set up for passwords. You can configure this as well. We're going to make this pretty simple. just because we want to be able to remember it, so we can tell him and he can go in and change the password. So I'm going to click Save. I have now created a new user and have successfully sent the invite out to that user within the system. So now let's go back here to our admin panel. And if we go to user management, we'll see that Michael Smith is now a user. So let's go back and let's look at teams and roles. What are teams? What are roles? Well, in the system, a lot of the times we will utilize teams and roles to signify who can access what data within the system. So I want to assign my account contacts and opportunities to individuals, but I also want to assign them to teams to give a more globalized view. If I don't assign it to a team and have teams as an option under account contacts, opportunities, leads, etc., it will automatically revert to this global team view, which means that everyone can see it unless its security parameters state otherwise for that particular user's role. So here we can create groups where maybe we have Michael Smith, who is assigned to the East sales team and assigned to new sales as a team. He can only see things based on security settings with accounts and opportunities that are assigned to East and new sales. He can't see things that are assigned to West, even though Will Weston is assigned to both East and West, but not North and South. So let's go back here, and let's look at our roles and how we configure the security settings for our roles. Click on Role Management, and let's go in here to our New Guy role. So here I can see all of the various modules within the system on my left-hand panel. And right here in the middle, I have modules, I have the security settings for the actual module. So not for the fields within the module, but for the module itself. We have access type. So can they access the system? What sort of access do they have? Can they delete things in the module? Can they edit the module? Can they export from the module? Can they import to the module? Can they create lists from the module? Can they mass update the module? Heck, can they even view it? And now we have that for all the modules. I can click in here. Not set means that, yes, they do have access. It is enabled. Or I can disable it. Access type. Are they normal? Is it not set, which makes it normal? Are they an administrator? Are they a developer? Are they an admin and a developer? Delete. Can they delete all? Can they only delete things that are owned by them? Or are they just not able to delete? And it goes forth that way. But let's click on and edit an account. Let's click on accounts here on the left-hand side. And now I'm taken to my accounts page for security. What we see here is all of the fields within the system. It also includes some fields that I have created myself. For example, I have a related accounts field that I built, and I'm able to set the security settings for even my customized fields within the system. At the top bar, we have the same area that we saw before where we can set up the security parameters for that specific module. If I click on within one of the fields, my options are not set, which means that they can read and they can write this field. Or they can read the field, whether it's assigned to them or not, or only the owner, so only the person upon which the account is assigned to can write and edit the field. Or they can only read it, or only the owner can view it and only the owner can write it, or none. They can't see it, they can't edit it, nothing. Not set, again, means that they can read and write. So we can configure this and configure some of these fields for anyone and for any of the specific users. Once I save the particular security role, I'm going to go back here and I'm going to go to my users, and I want to assign a user to that role. So that way the security parameters that we just created function for them. So I'm going to go here to user management. I'm going to open back up Michael Smith. I'm going to go to access. Just scroll on down. And roles. So I'm going to assign a role to Michael Smith. And in this case, we're going to give him the new guy security because we don't want him to have access to everything in the system because he's new. So we click the checkbox next to new guy and hit select. And now the security settings will update. And if we go back to access, we can see that he's now assigned the new guy role. We can change his teams here as well. So let's go back to our admin toolkit. And let us now dive into our developer tools. In particularly, we're going to focus on Sugar Studio. So again, Sugar Studio is where I'm able to customize my module fields, the layout, and the relationships. Let's go to Studio. And we're going to go to Accounts. So here I can select which module I want to play with and edit. In this case, we're going to do Accounts. So if I click on Labels, and we will go through each one of these, I can see the label in the view of all of the fields available for my accounts. I can change their names and just the label of them, but it will not change what the account's actually called in the directory. I can save and deploy any changes, or I can change module names. We're going to go back. I'm going to go to Fields. This will allow me to see all of the fields within the system for accounts, or I can add and create fields. Now this is where I can create a field and actually not have it go live, not put it on the layout, but just build a new field that's standing by for maybe someone else to check. So I'm going to click Fields. And here I can read all of my fields. I can click on a field in here if I wanted to. So maybe I want to go to, for instance, my related accounts. So here I can see this field that's existing, and I can edit this field. Now how do we edit fields? So I can go here and I can change the name of an existing field. But what if I wanted to create a whole new field as a different field type? So I'm going to hit cancel. I don't want to close the field. We're going to add a new field. So here under data type is where we choose what type of field it's going to be. Is it an address field? Is it a checkbox field? And a little square box will show up and they can click it. Is it a currency field? Is it a date field, a date and time? Only decimals can go here. Is it an encrypted field? Is it a drop-down field? Is it a floating field? HTML? Is it an iframe? Do you want to put an image there? Is it an integer? Is it a multi-select field? Is it a phone field? A radio field? A relate field? So I want to relate it to other modules within the system? Is it a text area field? Is it a URL field? Is it a text field? In this case, let's select a drop-down field. So now I name my field. We're going to call it fun, new, drop-down. There's our label. So I had to put the underscore there to signify the spaces. And now I can select from any of my existing drop-down fields that maybe I've created in the past, or I can go in and I can edit and create a new drop-down field in here. So here's where I can click on and edit the names that show up and display for the drop-down. 0, so we have new, vetted, check paperwork, awaiting manager approval, blank. We could change it to blue if we wanted to. We could add a new one in here. We could change this to sugar, display label, sugar, and we'll add it. And now it's been added in there as one of our selections for the drop-down. So click Save. And it's saving. So it's actually building it into the system. I can build a comment section that says, select one. So when they hover over the drop-down field, it'll give them a little comment about it. I can select a default value for what we automatically want it to be. I can make this a math update field. And when we load it, it'll mass update all of them. I can make it a dependent field. So it's a parent drop-down, so it shows up when another drop-down's been selected. It'll create a new drop-down for us, or it's based on another field. I can make it a required field, which means when someone fills out the system, they actually have to check this field. It's a reportable field, so I can run reports on it. Is it an audit field, giving the audit trail information? Is it an importable field? We want to check for duplicate mergers with this field. I'm good with what I got, so we'll go ahead and click Save. Now, this does take a second, as it is loading a brand new entity into our module. So now that it is saved, do I want to go ahead and add this field to my account record? Yes. So how do I do that? So let's go to Accounts in the Module Studio, and I'm going to go to Layouts. Then I'm going to click on Record View. And here I have a record view and can see exactly what I see if I look to click on Accounts and create New. So I'm going to add a new row. I can add it up here under Layout. I can add it under Show More. So I'm going to add it right here under New Layout instead of under Show More. And I'm going to click on Fun New Drop Down. And we're going to drop right there. Fun New Drop Down. Now I can save it, and it won't actually go live. It'll just be saved in there. Maybe we're waiting for a whole new rollout. We're just adding fields slowly. Or I'm going to go ahead and make it live. So I'm going to hit Save and Deploy. Deploy complete. Done. Are we sure? Let's check. So I'm going to go to Account, Create Account. And now we will see that our new field on New Dropdown exists. Hold to wait a second as my screen is caught behind. Okay, so we have our new Fun New Dropdown field right here. There it is. There's our options for it for Fun New Dropdown. So that's how we add and create a new field. Click here. Let's go back into our admin account. And let's go back to our studio. Back in the studio. Back to accounts. And so let's look at relationships. We've got to jump from fields to layout. So let's look at relationships real quick. Relationships is where I choose how this account module is related to other modules in the system. Is it a one-to-many relationship, meaning one account to many opportunities, many to many, many accounts to many opportunities, or many to one, many accounts to one opportunity? How do I want to set that up? So I could add a new relationship, or we can click on an existing relationship in here. We'll click on Member Accounts. So I'm on Accounts module. The type is one-to-many accounts module. I click here, and I can edit it to many, or many to one, or one to many. And I click Save and Deploy. Fairly simple. As you notice, when you're going through inside the studio, you have some instructions over here on the side under Help that'll actually give you tips and tools while you're going through the system. So let's go back into our, let's look back at our layout. Here I also have my list view, my pop-up, and my search view. What's this mean? So the list view is when an account under a module, and what do I want to show up within that view? So I'm under Contacts. I can see my account. What information do I want displayed there? This is where I can choose what information I want displayed when I'm looking at a contact and the related account is underneath it. So I can click here, and if I want to change this from hidden for the team that's associated with, click on Teams, drag it over, and save and deploy. As you notice again, I have my instructions that walk me through how to deal with this area of the system. So let's go back to account. And let's look at our subpanels. So I can see all the subpanels underneath an account. So I have contacts, opportunities, leads, cases, revenue line items, documents, quotes, campaign logs, because those are all of the related areas to accounts. And I can choose what information displays, and I'm looking at my account page for contacts from here as well. So maybe I want to pull under, I have the name of the account, team, but I don't have their Twitter account. And I want to see that. When I'm looking at my account, I want to see the Twitter information for that contact related to that account. So I do that, click Save, and Deploy. Done. Go back here to Accounts. And the last thing is our mobile layout. So here's where I can configure the fields, the views, just as we have done for inside of the system, but for our mobile deployment of SugarCRM. We'll just click on this real quick. And we'll see that it looks very similar to what we were just utilizing inside of the admin toolkit for the regular accounts module. This is the view for the mobile module. I can make it a panel, or I can make it tabs. We're just going to do panel. I can make it collapse or not. And then I can drop and drag over new fields as well here. So let's go back to our admin toolkit. And one other thing that can be useful, and that we'll just kind of talk about real quickly while you're utilizing the trials, you might want to put some of your existing data in the system. How do I do this? Very good question. We'll go to our import wizard. Boom. This is where we go to import accounts, contacts, opportunities into the CRM system. Now you want to make sure that your CSV file, I just had a on-screen pop-up reminder for something that I need to do within the system, for a meeting reminder I set up for a demo. So we could close. Okay, thank you. So we're going to import account data. I'm going to click Next. So now I'm going to select the file of the CSV that I'm going to import. Now I want to make sure that my CSV is obviously cleaned up and set up so that it has, titles on the rows and headers. I'm going to choose the file. Right here. Screw it, we'll just use this. I'm going to click Create New Records Only. Click Next. That was a bad file. Sorry about that. That was my mistake, trying not to import a non-CSV file. Back here to my admin. Let's actually go on and let's import some of our LinkedIn contacts. Let me show you how to do that real quick. So I'm going to go to my LinkedIn.com. And I'm going to go to, we're running my live LinkedIn account. I'm going to contacts. I can see all of my contacts here. I believe I click on this little item here. And I want to export my contact. Select all. More. Choose. Well, we'll come back to this. let's go back in here to our administrator. I think I've got it here. So we're going to go back to our import wizard. Sorry about that, guys. Click account, next. Choose the file, find the CSV here. Documents, CSV. Open. Create new records only, next. There we go. And we go next. So here's where I would map my existing fields in the CSV file. So here I'm going to change the campaign ID for the row that's labeled web search field fish tank aquarium, and it shows me the value. So we can map our files. Then I click next. So we're going to use name here. Click next. And then I can choose what duplicate I want to search for. So name. And I click import now, and it would import those records in the system, and it will show me results for any duplicates. So that's how we do basic imports within the system. And I'm going to open up our comment section for any questions. I think we have one question here that says, does sugar normally take that long to refresh? It takes a while to refresh after you've created a new module within the system or a new field, because it's writing it to the whole entire system. That's the only time it takes a while. Otherwise, any delays that we've seen today would be because I am on both Skype and GoToMeeting at the same time and have a rather poor internet connection where I'm at.
Joshua, there's another question regarding imported data. Will imported data map with drop-down fields in the CRM?
Yes, you can choose to map them as long as the drop-down fields match the data that is available in your field in your CSV file for that particular row or column.
Great. It looks like there aren't any other questions at the moment. If you want to pause for a few seconds and see if anything else
for a couple seconds. Any other questions you guys have? You've got some free administrative help here while you're utilizing your evaluation.
When here you go, Joshua. Here's another question. Can you show us how to create new relationships?
Yes, that's what we went through earlier with our module building. I'll go back through that. And our modules, Studio, Accounts, Relationships, Add Relationship. So I'm going to relate my accounts. I want many accounts related to many other accounts. I'll save and deploy. So I've now created that relationship within the system. So when I go in and I want to create a field that is related fields, I could then select and relate that field to accounts. And then I would be up and running with new related fields, with a new relationship.
Great. Hey, Joshua, do you know if the Sugar calendar syncs with an Exchange calendar?
So it'll sync to your Outlook? Yes. Or it'll sync to your phone? Yes.
Awesome. There's another question that just came in. What's the difference between a label and a field in Studio?
So a field is the actual field itself. A label is what it's titled. So that is the label, the thing that you're reading when you pull up the field. within the system.
Cool. I think that's all we have up until this point. Oh, wait, here's a follow-up. There's a follow-up, Joshua.
Sure.
The difference between label and display label under fields.
So it's kind of redundant, actually, within the system. Let me give you a quicker way to get to it. So I can go to my labels, and I can change the label here. So accounts. So here's a long label name for accounts, and I can change the actual display label name right here. I can also get to that from the field editor.
It's great stuff.
All right, wonderful. Well, thank you guys very much for attending. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Jesse, you want to throw up that closing slide?
Yeah, sure. Hang on one second.
Thank you guys very much for. Cool. Thanks, guys, for attending. Here's my contact information. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email. You can find some more information and more videos on our website, and we are here to help, so don't be afraid to reach out with any other questions. Thank you, guys, and have a great day.
Thanks, Joshua. We'll see you soon.